Supervive 2.0 just launched, and Theorycraft is not giving up. With the update comes some great Battle Royale changes that I will talk about likely in an upcoming guide. A new exciting melee hunter with high skill expression, Nyx, and a pretty decent amount of new items and hunter balance changes. We all get a new, very good Battle Pass, which a majority of consistent Season 1 players could likely wind up snagging for free. I may be biased though, since Jewel is my favorite hunter, and this skin is kinda great. But besides all these exciting changes to the game, we also got treated with the main topic of this video, a new game mode. The 2v2 tournament mode is exciting, and really lends to constant battling, without much break. It combines your decision making and quickly choosing an item or perk between rounds, with team fighting skill and matchups. I personally find this game mode very fun, though I have more than a few critiques if it were to ever become more to Supervive than a limited time for fun mode. Mainly, I would personally love some breathing room between rounds to select your items, and possibly some more agency for buying them as well. One small but devastating issue is playing something like Jewel and getting offered primarily outbound healing items. I also feel like the mode should be 3v3. The game was rebalanced months ago to play around the trios concept, which many of us didn't really love, as duos and 4-player squads works better for, well, a lot of friend groups. But at this point, that is what the game is now. Some of the balancing and team comp issues in this mode, which will be obvious and relevant when you play it, would be likely fixed with the swap to trios. I also recognize this causes the queues to be just as large as the Battle Royale, which may not be the goal of the mode, though it for sure needs some adjustments. I can see a feature of this game mode which could have a ranked and be marketed as a major game mode. With all that being said, the most exciting part of the announcement for me was this. Quote, "One more thing we'll be doing during Season 2 is prototyping new competitive modes, with the goal of expanding Supervive's core combat magic beyond Battle Royale and Arena. We'll be testing these modes on specific matches to get early feedback. The first of these is a multi-team 2v2 tournament mode." With this announcement being made, and feeling the gameplay of Supervive in a different environment, it gets me excited for what could come next. Theorycraft must have some ideas on where to take the game, but the final decision really seems to be up to how the players respond. This is why if we want to do our part as a community, I think we should put in our 2 cents about what we want to see from the gamemodes team going forward. Funnily enough, almost a month ago, before the Season 2 announcement, I made this Reddit post. The point was to get the community thinking about the possibility of the devs making a maneuver that could shake things up like this, and it really seems to me like they are approaching it in the correct way by bringing in modes one at a time, testing them out while Battle Royale still remains the main mode. One thing I believe is important, I included in the post. The game mode that would best fit for Supervive should and could still include its core mechanics. These include XP and leveling system, itemization, minions, creeps, / having the abyssals and other bosses for the objectives and perks to earn. I think it should obviously include the same combat system, every character having a dash on shift, and the gliders. I think the gliders are very important to what makes Supervive, with that movement feeling so slick. I have seen Payload being highly requested, which I think would be very fun with this combat system. However, they should try and think of a mode that utilizes the game's core mechanics that we talked about if possible. There could be a version of Payload with itemization and objectives, but it seems like a game mode where one team would just dominate the other if there was gold and leveling involved due to the condensed constant team fighting in one area. Part of me thinks that if we wanted to advocate for more generic FPS game modes, something like Domination would make more sense, with the split area of objectives for winning and a more open map style to include abyssals and such. Capture the Flag could also work well with this gameplay style. I like a mode like this because it really emphasizes the movement mechanics in the game if you have or are chasing the flag. I'm not as sure that farming creeps and including abyssals would be as effective here, but I think it is possible with some creativity. I also think this capture the flag thing could work out with a MOBA element of capturing one flag ends the entire game, with objectives and constantly moving the flag back and forth, almost like destroying towers, but not quite. Not sure exactly how that would play out though. Imagine a plant the bomb Valorant CSGO Siege etc. mode in the style of Supervive as well. This could be really exciting and kind of like a better version of arenas that they already have. This could give some more time between rounds and give gold per round to spend and a level per round as well. This would take a lot of creativity to keep every core mechanic, but a mode like this in the Sky Islands would be so exciting. One of my personal favorite ideas is also seemingly one of the most popular. probably due to who Theorycraft marketed to. A modernization of MOBA as we know it, but a major shift. I would love a fast-paced 4v4 MOBA, but with only 2 lanes. Gaining perks for defeating abyssals would be a fun mechanic with possibly a larger objective in the upper lane. With this combat system, it could be something that takes MOBA and really steps it up. Though I also understand Theorycraft may not want to work on a MOBA due to most of them being from Riot and already having spent a lot of their time working on a different MOBA. They also could do something similar to Pokemon Unite where there are no minion waves or towers to manage, but these like point system from farming jungle and defeating enemies where you kind of slowly chip at the base without having to manage waves or anything like that. Finally, a mode that would likely go over well, not just with the current community but future players and all kinds of different people, is creating the game into a PvE roguelike mode with some sort of ranked progression. This is something that could be huge, not many other people are doing. There's so many ideas that Theorycraft could not only pull off, but that Supervive's combat could absolutely strive in, and it seems like that's what players might be wanting as well. It seems like it could work. I mean, look at the player difference between the last month versus the spike for Season 2. I'm sure a lot of them are returning just for the new Battle Pass, but there are still plenty of players hungry for what Theorycraft could cook, so my suggestion is to let them. Keep coming back for each new game mode throughout the season, and let them know what you think. You never know if Supervive might wind up with something so great it completely revives the game. And the best way to support this game we love is by being there for that. So subscribe if you haven't, because I'll be keeping up to date with these modes and doing my best to give honest takes on the state of the game. What do you think of the tournament mode? What about the Battle Pass or new Battle Royale changes? To me, this game feels cleaner with every update, and that's a great sign for a dedicated dev team. Any other ideas for modes? Our input is our way of supporting the game, so a discussion like this would likely be a great way to keep Theorycraft motivated. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the breach. Or, for now, probably these tiny clusters of skylands. Bye.